Buddy, this is Troy over at Uncomfortable Truths. Thanks for checking me out. So today we have to talk about Xbox because they just declared war against the heavies. And this is not going to be a winning battle whatsoever. In fact, I think we're probably looking at a Bud Light situation where they just aren't understanding their audience. So Microsoft just released their recommendation for game developers. And one of those recommendations said they want to make sure that you don't have unrealistic body proportions. Now, I'm sorry that Microsoft executives might not like this. Maybe they're on Team Aerith, just like I am. But the fact remains, there's going to be a lot of people playing video games that are going to prefer characters with those tiggle bitties, because that is what guys who are the primary audience for video games tend to be into. So if you're going to take on this fight, you're going to lose. Additionally, it isn't just women that are exaggerated in their body features when playing video games. As much as I would like to come out and say, yeah, I look just like Kratos from God of War, I don't. That's ridiculous. And of course, I'm never going to be that size. I'm never going to look like him. And I cry about that every single day. But I don't then go to the people making video games and say, hey, I need you to make the God of War look a little bit more like me. That's absolutely ridiculous. And first off, I don't even accept the premise whatsoever. There is so much diversity in games that it's hard for me to really buy into this idea that we're somehow getting rid of a whole category of people, or we're chasing people out of the video game world because we're not including them. You can find literally every type of race, religion in video games. Now, I'm sorry if you don't like the fact that maybe they're not the primary character, or maybe your specific story isn't being told. But if that isn't the case, then just go out and make your own video game. No one is stopping you. And honestly, if you're into it, there's probably an audience for it. But this idea that we need to make all of these characters look realistic, it's absurd. You wouldn't go to like a professional wrestling match and say, oh, hey, I noticed that you're dressed up like a clown. Why aren't you dressed up in a leotard, which is what actual wrestlers tend to wear? Well, because they're actually playing towards their audience. They are there because they're trying to entertain the crowd. That's what video games are all about. And if you don't like that, we'll go to one of the hundreds and hundreds of video games where you literally create your own character. If you're not satisfied with just being able to create your own character, then I don't know what to tell you. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to make money. These are businesses. And by the way, they aren't just US businesses. These are companies from all across the world that are, yeah, trying to break into the United States audience, but they're making video games for everyone. So these are themes that all gamers across the world are kind of liking to see. So as much as I think Aerith is better than Tifa, well, there's an audience for Tifa. Let's not lie about it. And let's not pretend that there's a very specific reason why guys might have been more interested in Tomb Raider. But at the same time, don't act like all these video gamers are all these sexist, horrible people. We're literally making HBO movies about lesbian main characters from the people in The Last of Us. So I don't want to hear that all these gamers are horrible people and we have this big problem with racism in the gaming community. So I happen to like Final Fantasy VII, and I'm big on Barrett. Barrett's a black character who is literally a coal miner who turns into an environmental terrorist. We're talking about very political issues. We're talking about diversity issues throughout tons and tons of games. And sometimes people are just playing games because they like the characters. They like to do Mortal Kombat, and we don't have to think super deep about every single game and every aspect. So just shut up, stop trying to bring your DEI into our gaming world, and just get the hell out of here with all of your nonsense. If you don't like a game, don't buy it. And if enough people stop buying these games, then they'll probably make changes that way. But that isn't going to happen. And you're out of your mind if you think you're going to appeal to a larger audience by having uglier characters. And this isn't just true of video games. This is true of music, TV shows, and movies as well. Because people don't go to video games because they want everything to look like the world around them. If I wanted to be surrounded by fat slobs, I would just wander around Walmart and there'd be no reason to play a video game at all. This is absolutely ridiculous, and it should be laughed out of the room because we've seen how these DEI things actually impact video games before. People recoil at it, and it actually negatively impacts sales, and it makes the games way worse. So let's just cut out all of this nonsense because it's not good for the gamers. It's not good for the company. And honestly, you're forcing some sort of fake inclusion into an industry that's already extremely inclusive. So, anyway, everybody, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Let's shut this nonsense down. But for now, go ahead and do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. I appreciate the hell out of you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.